Today we learn constructor in Java. Basically in Java there are two types of constructor there. One is the default constructor and another one is the parameterized constructor. Now first point, why the constructor is needed in Java. Basically constructor is used to create the object. First point is used to create object of the class. Clear? And second point is constructor is also used to initial value value to the attributes of the object, Clear? What is the attributes of the object? This one already we discussed in the previous session in the class and object. Attributes means that one is a member variable of the object. Clear? So to create the object or initial value to the attribute of the object, that one is a member of the class. If you want to initialize the value in the member of the class. Now, what is the rules to declare the constructor? There are some rules you have to maintain when you create the constructor. First point, constructor is just like a method. Method means always we have to put the symbol this one. So maybe my class is maybe test. This one is maybe class. So constructor, the name of the constructor always will be same as the class name. Name of the constructor always will be same as the class name. So if my class is test, so my constructor also will be the same as the class, as this one is a method. So we have to put the method symbol. Clear? So constructor, name of the constructor is same of the class name, and if the constructor is the method, as the constructor is a method, so that's why we have to put this function symbol. Okay. Third point, this is a very important point. Constructor is a method. We already learned that constructor is a method, but constructor has no return type. Constructor has no return type, not even void. Clear? Not even void. So constructor has no return type. Clear? So constructor is just like a method. Constructor, the name of the constructor and the class name should be same, and constructor has no return type. And fourth point, within one class you can create more than one constructor. Within one class you can create more than one constructor. Clear? So multiple constructor you can create within a class. Maybe this constructor, more than one constructor you can create. Now constructor is normally a two type. One is a default constructor and another one is a parameterized constructor. Maybe I have one class, maybe this one is a class add, and you so many variables methods are there. If there are no constructor, then Java will call the default constructor. Java will call the default constructor. Clear? Now the question is that constructor is a method. So method should be called by the user. But constructor is called by the user? No. Constructor will be called at the time of object declaration. At the time of object declaration. When you declare your object, then at the time of the object declaration, constructor will be called. Clear? Constructor will be called. So how it is? Now you see, maybe this one is your class. You declare one constructor. Okay. Now maybe public static void main. Clear? So here when you declare your object, when you create your object, maybe test t1 equal to new test. See, this one is the constructor. So when you declare, when you create your object, this constructor will be called. Clear? So constructor will be called at the time of the object creation. So how it is called? You see, maybe I have one class. That one is maybe class test. Clear? Now, so this one is a constructor. Why this one is a constructor? Here you see class name and method name both are same. It is a method but it has no return type, and the name of the class and name of the function should is same. So that's why it is a constructor. So what we can, so here maybe I use one println statement. That one is I am zero argumented constructor. Maybe this one I am zero argumented constructor. Clear? So now this is a constructor, this is a method. So you can call? No, you can't call. At the time of object declaration only will be called. Now maybe void disp. One method I have. That one is also will print sopln, maybe hello world. Clear? Now I will execute this class by the to declare the object. Now maybe class main. I have one main class. Here I am using public static void main string args. Okay. Now I will create one object of the test class. Test t1. How you can create? We already learned using the new keyword new test. Now you see this one is a calling statement. So at the time of the object creation, this constructor will be automatically called. Clear? Now t1 dot disp. Disp is the normal method. This is not the static method. So that's why with the help of the object you have to call. Now you close your main function and you close your class. Now what will be output? So here you see I create my object using the new keyword, then test. So this constructor will be called. So my output will be I am zero argumented constructor. So my output will be I am zero argumented constructor. Clear? Next t1 dot display. So this display function will be called and the output will be hello world. Clear? Is it clear? So when the constructor will be called at the time of object creation. Clear? So user could not call the object. User could not call the constructor. It's not possible by the user. Only at the time of the object creation the constructor will be called. Clear? Now what is the default constructor? What is this? This one is the non-parameterized constructor. You can use this term also. This one is known as the non-parameterized constructor or zero argumented constructor, non-parameterized constructor or zero argumented constructor. Zero argument constructor. Anything you can use. This one is a non-parameterized and this one is a zero argumented constructor. Now what is the default constructor? Already so many programs already we did in the previous session. Here you see this one is my one class. This one is my class. That one is maybe class test. Here I use only one function. That one is a void disp. Void disp. This one sopln. It will print the hello world. Okay. Hello world. Close this one. Close this one. Now class main. Here I used that your main function string args. Now I create my object of the class test. So how you can create the object? Already we learned test t1 equal to new test. Right? Now I will call my non-static method disp with the help of the object disp. Okay. Now what will be your output? I call the t1.disp. Within this disp function I have the hello world. So my output will be hello world. Clear? So now here you see I create the object with the help of the new and I use the test constructor symbol. So here I don't have any constructor. Then error will come? No. That time the default constructor will be called. In Java we have one default constructor. If within your class, if you don't have any constructor, the default constructor will be called. Default constructor means that one is a zero argumented constructor. Clear? If any class no constructor, when you create your object, then default constructor will be called. Clear? What is the default constructor? Now one confusion may be, is it default constructor? No, this one is not the default constructor. This one is a non-parameterized constructor. Both are same, but when you declare any constructor, then default constructor will be overloaded. So basically in Java there are two types of default constructor. One is the implicit constructor, another one is the explicit constructor. One is the implicit constructor and another one is the explicit constructor. Clear? When there is no constructor, then the default constructor will be called. So that's why this default constructor is known as the implicit constructor. When you create any type of constructor, non-parameterized or parameterized or anything, then the default constructor will be overloaded. So when you create this non-parameterized constructor, it looks like the default constructor, but the default constructor is overloaded. So this constructor is known as the explicit constructor. Clear? What is default constructor, what is non-parameterized constructor, and what is the implicit and explicit constructor. Clear? So next part we will discuss the non-parameterized constructor. What is the parameterized constructor? Just like this, you see, maybe I have one class add. Clear? Here I declare two variable. At first I already discussed what is the utility of the constructor. Constructor is used to create the object. A constructor is used to create the object, and also one more point, that constructor is used to initialize the member variable. That one is to initial the value to the attribute of the object. So now here you see I use one constructor. That one is like this, integer m and integer n, and now I initialize my member variable x with the help of the m, and y will be initialized with the help of the n. Clear? So this one is a constructor. I passed two variables, integer m and integer n. So that's why it is known as the parameterized constructor. That one is a two argumented constructor. Clear? Maybe now I have one function void sum integer s. That one is a local variable. So local variable also will be initialized. Now x plus y. SOPLN s. Void sum over class over. Now I declare one more class main. Here I use my main function. Now I will create my object test t1. Sorry, not this one is a test. The class is the add. So I have to use this add a1 equal to new add. Here I pass maybe 2 and 3. So this one is the two argumented constructor called at the time of the object declaration. So for this purpose, this matching constructor will be called. Clear? Now I called the function a1 dot sum. So here the x plus y means this two value 3 and 2, the summation of the 3 and 2. So it will be printed. Clear? So this one is known as